Hello, open-minded parents. So I wanted to create a video today, not specifically on baby reading, but I want this channel to be all about uncommon methodologies or uncommon things to teach your children. And what I was thinking about for today's video was one of the things that makes it really challenging to be a mother. And for me, this might not be true for other people, but for me, one of the big challenges that I had was that I really didn't know how to run a household once I became a mother. So by running a household, I mean, I didn't know how to create sort of a weekly grocery shopping list and, you know, a meal plan for the week just to keep the family fed, right? Like I didn't know how to do that. Like I didn't really know how to cook very well at all. I didn't have like a roster of meals that I knew how to cook. I didn't really have, like, I sort of knew how to clean the house, but again, I didn't have like a ironclad sort of routine for cleaning my house, you know what I mean? And, you know, I was, you know, looking at, for this video, I looked up on the US Bureau of Labor Statistics, how much we spend as a family in certain categories. So the average American family spends on housing, 33%, on transportation, 16%, on food, 13%. So that is a total of 62% of the average American's income is spent on those three categories. And how much time have we spent in our lives learning about those categories and how to manage those expenses? So I know from my experience going to school, I mean, I obviously learned some math, but how to purchase a house, how to purchase a car, what factors to consider. I mean, I got nothing at all in those categories, and I think that's probably true for most people. And in terms of food, like learning how to cook, I had one home economics course and, you know, learned how to cook muffins, and that was it. So I really did not have any life skills going into life. I spent 13 years in school, but I didn't really know how to do anything, right? Or even just like simple things like how to change the washer on a leaky faucet. I mean, these are like really, really important skills, but you know, my parents didn't teach me these things. And I think that that's true for a lot of people, not for everybody, but for a lot of people. And to make my point, if you're thinking, oh, I learned how to do those things, well, okay. But I also went on Healthline and I looked at how many Americans are obese, 36%. How many Americans are overweight, 32%. That's a total of 68% of Americans. So if I say, are Americans doing a good job of learning how to feed themselves, right? I mean, the answer is no, right? The answer is we're not doing a very good job. So for you as a parent, I would make the case that you should make managing the household a very important category to focus on, okay? You know, just to talk about my more recent experiences and why this is really top of mind for me. Right now, I'm making this video at the time of the quarantine. And, you know, because of lack of availability of services, I've learned how to do a number of things on my own. I planted an herb garden for the first time, and it was super easy. I just planted the plants in the ground, I watered them, and they grew, right? That was, you know, super easy. I just recently dyed and cut my own hair, and I think it turned out great. It's definitely turned out, you know, better than a lot of professional haircuts I've had. And it's like, well, why didn't I figure this out before? Why didn't it even occur to me to try to do it? Or, you know, I do know people who have dyed their own hair, but I mean, not a lot, you know what I mean? Not like tons of people. What else? Oh yeah, and then I started using an app called AnyList to manage my grocery shopping, and I've started being super efficient with my grocery shopping. So I now create a weekly plan of what I'm going to cook, and I buy it all at once. And you know, sometimes I might go do one extra trip for like one or two items, like a second time in the week, but it's done. And my stress level in terms of just getting food on the table has come like way down. And I wish I had these skills, you know, years and years ago, right? I mean, I could have saved so much money and so much effort and, you know, just all these things. So if you are a parent and you have young children and you don't have these skills, don't feel bad, right? Like most people don't. It's clear that most people don't. And, just think about, educating yourself, first of all. Learn how to cook one new healthy meal per month. Just, build really, really gradually. Just one new skill every month, and you will that will snowball really, really well over time. And when you're thinking about your children, you should be actively thinking about how you're going to pass these skills onto your children. Like when your child leaves your household, right? When they graduate, you want them to be able to cook, at least to know how to cook backwards and forwards 10 meals. And 10 meals is a lot. Like most people are not cooking 10 meals on a regular basis, right? 10 sort of from scratch, really healthy meals. And, when they move out, you should be gifting them a nice quality frying pan that they can use, right? These are just, I just don't think that my generation really got that. And it's something that we need to actively think about passing on to our children. Otherwise, they're not going to get it either, right? And then how to make that weekly grocery shopping plan. They should sort of know how to do all these things. You should be running them through it as they mature over the years. I know for my son, I just have done little things with him. He's 6 years old now. I probably could have done more, but I mean, he has learned how to make his own peanut butter sandwich, and he knows how to make scrambled eggs in the rice cooker because he can't really burn himself in that. So he just cracks the egg and mixes it and then puts it in, and then I help him get it out, little things like that. He also stands with me and cooks with me, but I am going to intentionally teach him how to cook over time, right? He has his own little cookbook, and he made French toast the other day, and I was making it along with him, but just really being intentional about teaching those skills. And then when he's older, also teaching him those financial skills in terms of how do you plan to buy a house, what is involved, how do you apply for a mortgage, and how much money should you be thinking about saving. And the same thing goes for a car, right? When do you why would you lease, and why would you finance, right? All these little things. I just heard my family come home, so I think I might have to cut this video short because I'll have screaming children in my lap in just a few minutes here. And what else was I going to say for this video? I think that's it. Just if you're a parent, just bring some awareness about intentionally teaching these life skills, and it will make your children's lives a lot easier. And in terms of addressing the anxiety epidemic, I mean, there's a lot of things that go into that, the anxiety epidemic among children, but giving them the confidence so they can step out of their house and manage all these life skills is going to help. It's going to decrease anxiety, right? When you know how to do things, that decreases anxiety. And there's this concept out there of adulting, adults who are doing adult things for the first time in their lives, these children in their 20s. Make sure your child has these adult skills before they leave the house. And, maybe they'll still choose to eat at restaurants all the time, but they'll have something else that they can fall back onto when they want to. Anyhow, that's it for now. Thanks, guys.